All right, let's finish up here with general form. So the general form of a linear equation is ax plus by plus c equals 0, where a, b, and c are integers, and a and b are not both 0. By convention, a is a positive integer, which means that a is a whole number. So let's just go with that. We're going to say a is a whole number always, okay, which means that it can't be negative. When you convert a linear equation from one form to another, you can convert it by applying the rules of algebra. So again, just a reminder, x-intercept is the x-coordinate of the point where the line crosses the x-axis. Y-intercept is the y-coordinate of the point where the line crosses the y-axis, okay? To sketch a linear equation, you can draw a line joining the intercepts x0, 0, y. It might be a lot, but let's do some examples. So the line in the graph below has an x-intercept of 1 and a y-intercept of 2. So this isn't, that's x. X-intercept means it crosses the x-axis at 1, which is exactly what it's saying. And this is my y-intercept. If you look, it tells you that that's y, crosses at 2. Okay, so that's all it's saying. We're going to need that for later. So express each of the following in general form. So remember, general form, we have, when it says integer, it just means no fractions. Okay, that's what it wants. No fractions. No fractions and a positive a value. Okay, so let's do that. So here, the only thing I need to do, actually just subtract y from both sides. So when I do that, I end up with 0. And then I'm going to lead with the 3x. I'm going to sandwich the y in there just so it looks like this. Minus y minus 2. Now, it's okay for y to be negative and the constant to be negative because these are integers. Negative numbers are okay. They just don't want a to be negative. So that's actually the end of this question. That's it. So the next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, move y again. So minus y. So that 0 is equal to negative 3 over 4x. I'm going to sandwich the y in between there, minus 2. Now I have a fraction and I have a negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to multiply everything by 4. The reason why I'm multiplying everything by 4 is because this is my lowest common denominator here is 4. So when I multiply 3 over 4 by 4, what ends up happening is I get rid of my denominator, my fraction, okay? So negative 3 over 4 times 4 is actually just negative 3. So 0 is equal to negative 3x minus 4y minus 8. Now, I made a mistake here at the beginning. I probably should have moved the x and the 2 over to the left. So what I'm going to do, because I can't have a negative a value, I'm going to add 3x, I'm going to add 4y, and I'm going to add 8. And then whatever I do to the right, I need to do to the left. So I'm going to add 3x, I'm going to add 4y, and I'm going to add 8. And so then it looks like this. And there we go. 3x plus 4y plus 8 equals 0. And there you go. Example 2, state the x and y intercept and use them to graph each of the following. So I like to make a little t-chart. I'm sure you remember doing this in class because this is just review. You've already learned this. We're just going to review it. So x-intercept, I like to remind myself that y is equal to 0 at the x-intercept. So I'm going to take this equation and I'm just going to replace y with 0. So 3x, and I'm going to solve for x, plus 6 times 0 minus 18 equals 0. So 3x, 6 times 0 is 0, minus 18 equals 0. Now I solve for x. Okay, so I'm just using algebra, the opposite operation. So negative 18 plus 18 is 0. 0 plus 18 is 18. Divide by 3. X is equal to 6. So what this looks like is 6 and 0. That's what that coordinate point looks like. Now at the y-intercept, x is equal to 0. So I always like to write that in as well. So I'm going to replace this x with 0. 3 times 0 plus 6y minus 18 equals 0. I'm going to add 18 as well in the same step. So I have 6y is equal to 18. Divide both sides by 6. Y is equal to 3. So this looks like this. 0, 3. Okay, x is 0. Y is 3. Now I'm going to plot both of them. So that's 5, 6, and 0. 0 and 3. And then it wants me to draw a line through them. Okay, arrows on the line just to show that it goes on forever. Example 3, sketch each linear relation and identify the intercepts. Then state the domain and range. We have done domain and range, so I'm just going to do it all with you. So we're going to sketch each linear relation. So y minus 3 equals 0. So what I need to do here is I'm just going to add 3 to both sides. So y is equal to 3. Now, this might look a little bit funny, but all it is saying is that this line goes through 3 on the y-axis. Okay, it goes through 3 on the y-axis. So I find 3. That's the only thing I need to do. Then I draw a line through that. Okay, that's exactly what that's saying. It's not saying anything else except that it's going through 3 on the y-axis. Y equals 3. That's my only option, y equals 3. And you know what? We're not going to do domain and range because this is from before and we're not going to overcomplicate things. Yeah. This one here, x plus 5 equals 0. Again, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. So it looks like this, x minus 5. Now again, remind yourself, this goes through -5 on the x-axis. It's the only point it touches on the x-axis is -5. So find -5 on the x-axis. There we go. And one more. Y is equal to 1. So again, goes through 1 on the y-axis. All right, I didn't read the whole question. It did say to identify the intercept. So here my intercept is only 3. All right, so it looks like this. My intercept is 0 and 3. That's my intercept. My intercept here is -5 and 0. And my intercept here is 0 and 1. All right, express the equation for x minus 5y minus 10 in slope-intercept form, and then state the slope in y-intercept. So now they just want us to do the opposite, okay? Put it into slope-intercept form. So I have general form. I'll put it into slope-intercept form. So just a reminder, slope-intercept looks like this, y equals mx plus b. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. I'm going to add 10 to both sides, right? I'm just doing the opposite operation in order to get y by itself. So I divide every term by -5. So -4 divided by -5 just leaves me with a positive 4 over 5. 10 divided by -5 is a -2. All right, so this is slope-intercept form. So that's one part of the question done. And then it says state the slope and y-intercept. So the slope is always a value in front of the x, as long as it's in this form, and the y-intercept is always the constant. So that's -2. All right, now they want us to do the opposite again. Express this in general form. Just a reminder, general form is ax plus by plus c equals 0, where b and c are integers, which means no fractions, and a is a whole number, which also means no fractions. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to, this is what I'm going to do this time, add 2/3 x and subtract 4/5. Okay, so I'm doing the opposite operation. I'm moving everything to the left-hand side. So I'm going to add 2/3 x and subtract 4/5. Whatever I do to the right, I need to do to the left. So that's 2/3 x plus y, I'm going to sandwich y in the middle, minus 4/5 is equal to 0. Now I need to get rid of this denominator. Now I have 3 and 5, which means I'm looking for my lowest common denominator, which between them would be 15. So I'm multiplying every term by 15. Okay, now when I take 2/3, multiply by 15, use your calculator if you need to, but that is 10x. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Yeah, so that's 10x plus 15y minus 12. So -4/5 times 15 is -12. And if you're not sure, please just use your calculator, okay? So that's actually all we need to do for this one. This is now in general form. And just to double check, my a value is positive and I have no fractions. All right, determine the equation of each line described below. Express each in slope-intercept form. All right, so again, reminder, slope-intercept form looks like this, y equals mx plus b. So it has a slope of -3 and crosses the y-axis at 0, -2. So remember, my b value is where it crosses the y-axis. So b is equal to -2. So y is equal to -3x minus 2. That's it. Okay, so just a reminder that m is a slope. and b is the y-intercept. Okay, the next one has slope of -3/4, so that's m is equal to -3/4, and passes through this point here. So this does not give me my y-intercept, okay? It just gives me a point, so it gives me an x and y point. So using this equation, y equals mx plus b, I know m, I have an x value, and I have a y value. So I'm going to use those to find out what b is. So y is -3, my slope is -3/4, x is 16 plus b, so I'm going to solve for b here. So -3/4 times 16 is -12 plus b, so I'm going to add 12 to both sides in order to get b by itself. So that is 9 is equal to b. Now they want it in this form, so I need to put it back into y equals mx plus b, and that is my answer. So y is equal to -3/4 x plus 9. All right, contains this point, 2/5 and -2/3. So I need to go back and think about my slope formula, which is y2 minus y1, back in the previous unit when we learned about slope, okay? And then this is my x1, y1. This is my x2, y2. So m is equal to 3 minus 5 divided by -2 minus 2. 3 minus 5 is -2. -2 minus 2 is -4. So I need to reduce that to be positive 1/2. 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. Negative divided by negative is a positive. Now the other thing is it just gives me a point. So if I'm using y equals mx plus b, I still don't know b. It's just giving me a point. So x and y, 2 and 5. Let's use that. Y is 5. My slope is 1/2. X is 2 plus b. So 5 is equal to 1/2 times 2, which is 1. Then I subtract 1 from both sides, so 4 is equal to b. Now I need to put it back into that y equals mx plus b, where I know m is the slope and b is 4. And that is it. I think that that's the end here. So good job.